Tonight we're at the Polish Hall here in Edmonton. This is the last of 22 community meetings across the province being held by Join Together Alberta, which AUPE has been involved in. Join Together Alberta is going across the province, hearing from regular Albertans about how much they care about their public services and how much they want to tell the government that they need to fund those public services properly.
You know, the budget was not as bad as we had perhaps anticipated, but before we all heave a big sigh of relief, I would like to point out that we have not seen any change in the basic direction of what this government likes to call healthcare reform. In fact, I would argue that seniors have now become the main target of what this government calls healthcare reform.
With a 6% cut to post-secondary education, and that amounts to $205 million. So what does this mean for our students and for our institutions? It means that overnight, $54 million in grants, bursaries, and scholarships for students was lost. It means that the province is planning on creating $38 million in student debt to compensate. It means that institutions and faculty and staff are going to be expected to do more with less.
You know, in the last few months, we've learned some really good lessons. And they were lessons that were learned in town halls like this. They were lessons learned in rallies, in the streets, at constituency meetings, and in work sites. And it was a lesson that we learned how to fight back, and we learned how to win, and we learned how to organize, and we learned how to come together. And you know what? With the fight to save Alberta Hospital, we did win. We won a victory that is significant. But at the end of the day, what a brilliant lesson to learn, that when we stand up, when we fight back, we win. And I think the budget announcement in healthcare last Tuesday was as a direct result of us standing up, fighting back. But you know, we also learned another lesson, a bitter lesson, that this Tory government has not changed one single bit, because as much as they focused on healthcare and tried to get the public to go back to sleep, they made significant cuts. And when they've made cuts to children and youth services, come on, those are the programs that help abused and neglected and drug-addicted kids turn their lives around. There were cuts made in those programs. That's the lesson that we need to learn from the budget last week, how callous this government is, and it won't protect the most vulnerable in society. When they make cuts to sustainable resources and development to make sure that environmental regulations are not followed through because they can no longer be enforced properly, and when they make cuts to advanced education so that university students are going to feel the pressure of cuts in their system, I tell you, that is the true lesson to learn from that budget, and it shows just how callous and mean-spirited this government is. And I tell you, we need to join together. What a great name for this coalition. Join together, Albertans. We need to take it back onto the streets. We need to take it into the work sites. We need to take it right into the faces of the politicians, because that's what we got to do. We got to be aggressive with these folks, because when they're listening to big business and only placating those people with money in their pockets, we've got to make our voice even louder. Sisters and brothers, it's time to recommit to that fight and continue to join together to make this Alberta one that we can all be proud of, where public services are given the priority they're needed. Thank you.